Hey people, Infant here, 1v1, Green Tooth Gorge, blue side. Leonus with the Plague Champion starts with the damage of a time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some strong utility and support, can also repair up against Mostafa's Inquisitor, offensive hero with powerful control abilities, begins in melee, can get specialized ranged weapons. We've got some CSM and we have a Sentinel, but then what? May see Catachan Devils immediately from Mostafa. I mean, they'd be at home on this jungle map, I suppose. There's a Chaos Space Marines. And there's more Heretics. So with double Heretics and single CSM, we may see a very aggressive Sentinel. Although needs to be careful if the Plague Champion's also around. Plague Champion seems to be going west. Maybe we'll see some Bile Spewer play, trying to dominate that west side with it. Because they can mess up garrisons and of course they can bash the power very effectively. On the east side, Heretics getting shot at, poor fellas. Dropping a model. Gonna drop another one, I think, at least. Are they gonna cap and just run? They are. The Sentinel can decap that VP. So was that even worth it, dropping those two models there at 13 rec each or whatever it is? The CSM take the mid. Heretics on the power. Plague Champion, meanwhile, where is he? Oh, here he is. He took the rec point. Comes to fight the Inquisitor, which is not a good fight for him because of the melee and the fact that the Plague Champion's melee is worthless by default, even amongst other ranged heroes. There's Hammer of the Witches, trying to stop him from getting in a garrison, but he gets in there. Safe from the melee. Sentinel does go for a very aggressive decap, and now may pay for it by falling over broken. CSM are there, Heretics with their pistols doing some work. These guys looking to get into melee with it. Doesn't have the ground pound yet. It's a heavy weapon squad from Mostafa to defend that west side, maybe. Maybe they are predicting the Plague Champion is going to be terrorizing this side. And now the Plague Champion can weigh in with some damage of a time bolt gun action on the Sentinel. Is it going to escape it? It's getting incredibly low. 13 hit points, 11. 8 hit points, it seems like it's escaped. Now it needs badly some repairs. Guardsmen heading back to do so. Heavy weapon squad fellas can also repair, of course, but they want to be shooting that big old heavy bolter. Here they go, suppressing those Heretic there. And peeling off models, eh? Plague Champion gets around the firing arc. Also operates very well under suppression, this guy. Still fires at the same rate and doesn't get slowed down as much as others. These guys will take the garrison, and the Plague Champion may need to move off. Meanwhile, east side, single power gen up. For Chaos fellas, we have 2 power up here from Mostafa. No sign of a Bile Spewer instead. Noise Marines are up with that Sonic Blaster that can shake apart generators. Maybe we'll see both. Gonna need to run soon, Mr. Plague Champion, I think. There's a ground pound upgrade on the Sentinel. More hit points and can stomp on your face. Plague Champion may not get away from this. Retreats into the heavy bolter. Retreating units taking far less range damage but extra melee damage. Hammer of the Witches. Oh, couldn't quite get it out in time. That would have killed the Plague Champion, I think. Hammer of the Witches being the Inquisitor's starting ability. Very good one too. Single target damage and a stun. Goes for the Holy Brazier. Pretty solid choice, I think, against Chaos, because the Holy Pyre can mess up Heretics quite a lot. Whether they try to stay back and grenade launcher, or if they want to run into melee, you can kind of throw the Pyre at your feet and fight them, maybe. Catachan Devils up here for Mostafa. Versatile units that can melee very effectively. Got shotguns, can disrupt from long and short range, even support with a smoke grenade, and detect units, as well as laying down some explosives. They can do a lot of things, those fellas. And they're Catachan jungle fighters, so they'll feel at home. 2 guardsmen fellas live, and they still want some fighting today. Oh wow, quite a lot of Heretics died over there. I see 5 Heretics on the floor. CSM dropping a model now. Getting some decent bleed on Leonus. Noise Marines are a big problem for the Guardsmen and for the Heavy Weapon Squad. And for the Catachans, actually. Heavy Weapon Squad does outrange them quite significantly, though, of course. That Sonic Blast will shut down ranged attacks, just disable them fully. And that includes things like chucking grenades, and I assume these guys' grenade launcher and their shotgun blasts, I assume, get shut down. And look at the damage too. Catachans tend to blob up more than other squads. I don't know what it is about them. Maybe because they bunch up to use their abilities kind of thing. Or they have different collision stuff than other squads. But if that Sonic Blaster hits every single Catachan model, that's a lot of damage going in. These guys have grenade launchers and an aspiring champion. There's the barrage. Noise Marines thought about going in, but they are busy capping. Where's the Plague Champion? No war gear for this guy. Decent chunk of XP, though, goes for that central VP. Triple gens up for both players in their natural victory point. Natural power point positions, I should say, which is near their natural victory point. Sentinel aggressively decapping up the mid. Runs away. Is this Guardsman? It is Guardsman. Stealing that wreck point. Plague Champion is going to grab that central VP. Cacophony there to push away the Inquisitor. But now it's been used, what are you going to do? They're going to go for the garrison. Catachans took a bunch of damage on approach there. But they didn't drop a model. Oh, now they might. That was nasty. There's the Holy Pyre. Does it do extra to garrisoned units? It seems to be. Those guys going to run? No, they're alright. Holy Pyre not only does damage, it also reduces the damage output of the squad. Would be great if they could get the debuff circles for that, but I think they tried it once and it was buggy or something. Tier 2 for Mostafa. Maybe some stormtroopers, eh? Crunch. Decent stomp. Sentinel should be fine, and now backed up by a heavy weapon squad. Meanwhile, Inquisitor gets in. Uh-oh. Oh, they're alright. These are ranged heretics. I wonder if they brought the CSM into melee there. Would they have got a kill? Oh, probably not. Would have been close, though. Each of those models got a melee hit in. I wonder if that would have been enough. So the Inquisitor can call in stormtroopers, which makes it a bit easier to get the double stormtroopers in, which is typically good for like a solid amount of burst damage if you get two of them with the sword hit. So they've gone Chimera, which may mean we see a second Guardsman squad to help repair it, and you can get plasma guns for both of them then. Inquisitor comes out of base a bit too quick there. Heavy weapon squad facing the garrison. Not sure what is the Plague Champion in there. Sentinel looks for the stomp. Just to threaten the stomp is really good because it makes stuff move around. Gets it on the heretics there. Surprised the Catachans aren't going into melee a lot more, actually. They'd mess up those heretics. They'd mess up the Plague Champion as well. And the CSM, of course, but they did not. They stayed at range and had to leave because the grenade launchers will mess them up quite a lot of range, although those heretics got messed up themselves. And here's the Chimera now. Support the vehicle for the guard. You can reinforce your units off it, can jump inside of it and operate these turrets on the side as well. And it gives you some firepower even without that, with a multi-las on it or whatever it is. I'm not sure what the DPS is on that actually. How does it compare to like a Razorback? And we do indeed see more guardsmen getting their commissar immediately. These guys also getting their commissar. That will take them up to 12 models and reinforce 3 at a time, which is pretty handy. And if they get plasma guns, they can trade really well with the Chaos Space Marines and stuff. Inquisitor on capping duty. Still no war gear for Leonus, but they have got almost to level 2, and now a Blast Master for the Noise Marines. Mark of Zinch CSM. Not typically something you'd see in against Imperial Guard, I think. It's an anti-infantry upgrade, but it's more specialized towards heavy and super heavy infantry, which Mostafa doesn't have any of at the moment, although the Sentinel is heavy infantry armored. And a Chaos Dreadnought is up, of course. So now they've seen the Chimera for sure. You may see Mark of Zinch on the Dreadnought, but I think pumping out another unit may be more valuable here. I mean, maybe some solid old Plague Marines. They can I would say run around and cap. They can slowly lumber around and cap quite effectively against what Mostafa has, I think. And there's the plasma guns for the guardsmen. Plasma guns and sergeants and commissars. And those heretics didn't like it. Chaos Dreadnought by default has a mean looking claw and an autocannon, as well as a twin-linked heavy bolter like in the sarcophagus underneath it, which does decent damage. It was buffed in the kind of early days of Elite, actually. Plague Champion, of course, is a repair hero, and those double heretics can also repair, so the Dreadnought maybe looked after quite well. Couldn't quite get the decap. Again, I feel like they could have grenade launched them, run up, and then shotgun blasted, and then meleeed them to death. But they did not. Being used quite defensively so far, those catechins. I mean, it's kept them alive. Really nicely timed grenade barrage there from Leonus as they came around the corner. Now they're getting Marco Zinched. And there's the aspiring champion. That guy gets a demonic plasma gun. But again, I think they should have just got the aspiring champion and used Slaughter, because Slaughter's so good. So good. They had to change it so that it starts on cooldown. It was so good. And it has a pretty long cooldown, I think. There's a servo skull. Gives you Auspex scan, more sight radius, and when she hits something, you can see where it is. Although it's only in ranged combat. I don't know why they've limited it to only ranged hits. Maybe to encourage stance play, changing stances and stuff. Chimera shows up just in time to protect those guardsmen from the Blastmaster shot there. Such a cool sound it makes. They really did an amazing job with sound design in this game, I think. Like every sound is basically perfect. Big hit there. I think the Chimera's done for. Not sure what Mostafa was trying to do there. Was it really that vital to get rid of the Noise Marines? I guess they needed a way to get the VP back, but with a Dreadnought right there. Laz, what about it? It's out of range of the Dreadnought. But maybe they're talking about earlier on it wasn't targeting it. But yeah, that was really risky with the Dreadnought there. Basically drove it up to the Dreadnought. Oh hey, we got some war gear. Armor of Pestilence. Makes the Plague Champion even slower but way tougher. And Mucus Discharge is in. Although I'm still salty about this thing being nerfed from 600 health to 500 health. And no health regen on it or anything. Another Chaos Dreadnought on the way. Look, you get no bonus health regen whatsoever. It's a bloody Plague Champion. And yes, I know there's Nurgle worship. Sentinel may go down here. Sentinel does go down here. Mostafa, though, goes tier 3. That's massively risky. As long as they defend their power, play defensively, I think they can maybe throw out a Leman Russ and do some work. But there's going to be 2 Dreadnoughts. Leman Russ isn't going to go unthreatened, is it? Inquisitor still level 1. Looking for some melee. Here come Heretics. There's the Holy Pyre. Thrown into the Heretics, but there's Touch of Nurgle. Look at the damage those Heretics took from Holy Pyre there. Touch of Nurgle is a global ability of the Plague Champion. Blesses the squad with Nurgle stinkiness, and they explode on death, healing themselves and allies and damaging enemies and knocking them back. Very effective and good synergy with Heretics because they can Doom Blast themselves and choose when they die. Guardsmen run away. I'm not sure if that was... I mean, was it worth it? Maybe without it, the Heretics would have had to run off and they would have lost that little fight. CSM took a bunch of damage from all the plasma guns, but they are still in play. And now they're power bashing, look. Well played, Leonus. Las Cannon. I'm not sure if it's got a shot on the Dreadnoughts yet. They said it wasn't targeting the Dreadnought earlier. When I looked, it was out of range, but maybe not. Maybe not before that. Mostafa's got his Inquisitor almost level 3. Plague Champion is level 3. Very slowly lumbering around. Just healed himself with the Mucus Discharge. Breath of Nurgle, and we have a Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Dreadnought. I suppose he's seen nothing else from Mostafa and figures they've gone tier 3 and figures maybe there's a tank coming, but there is Ogryn's. Just gonna say, it's set up for Ogryn's, isn't it? To come in and crunch on these melee, on these ranged dreadnoughts. It may prompt Mark of Khorne on that dreadnought there, because I don't know what else they're gonna do about it. Could get a melee plague champion going perhaps as well. Because these guys have been marked already. Lascannon gets a couple of hits. Can use the Auspex scan to reveal things and get shots off when they wouldn't ordinarily be able to. Because remember, they can't see. These guys can't see as far as their Lascannon can shoot, so they need something else to get vision for them. What is CSM up to? Oh, Catechins have decapped the VP. Ogryn's are up. Heavy melee ripper guns, they just crack you with their guns really hard. Can tear through anything. Now they've got their bonehead leader. And Interrogator's armor maybe? No sign of it yet. I guess they do have a sparring champion heretics milling around, so may just get spotted. Holy Pyre in the garrison. They're getting some really good shots on the Catechins though. There's a smoke grenade going up, which provides suppression immunity and some range damage reduction. I think it's 50%, but still taking huge amount of damage there. There's Catechins. They got a decap though again. Dreadnought's whining about something. Here come the Ogryn's. Frenzied Barrage does not hit them. They're going to get the Noise Marines out of here. There's a lot riding on these Ogryn's though, eh? Need some support. The Frenzied Barrage did hit the Guardsmen and suppress them. Heretics in there with some melee. Ogryn's taking a bunch of damage. I mean, they are suited to fighting the Dreadnoughts, but they're still going to take a bunch of damage in melee with them. Heretics doing a good job. I thought maybe we were gonna see Touch of Nurgle again there. I think it would have been super effective, but it is quite expensive and red. Plague Champion now has the Plague Fist. Heavy melee, not as much DPS as other fists in the game, but you do get the awesome Pestilent Strike for the stun and the range damage reduction. What is the Inquisitor up to? Why is she running so fast? It's like she's sprinting around. Doesn't give her speed increase, does it? No. Maybe I'm just mad, but it looks like she's running. What's she up to? Oh, she just Auspex scanned somewhere. Big VP lead for Leonus. 449 to 90. Manticore on the field for Mostafa. That could be awesome, actually. There's a Noxious Cloud for the Catechins. Global ability of the Plague Champion, and they do not want to mess with that. Very painful, that global. The remains of the Chimera is still up here, which is pretty cool. Some repairs for the Dreadnought. Plague Champion's going to come say hello to the Inquisitor. She can do Hammer of the Witches and just leave, I suppose. Or take the garrison and maybe get some plasma pistol shots in. Does it tell me what the plasma pistol is here? No. It's probably... I assume they upgraded it when they upgraded the other plasma pistols, but I'm not sure. There's Hammer of the Witches and there's Pestilent Strike. But can't do much else. Just got a load of plasma guns to the face there. Level 4 though. Level 2 Inquisitor. What is Ogre? Oh, that turn into Bullgryns. There we go. Now they have power mauls and slab shields. And they're ready to roll. 2,400 hit points on these guys. They get more DPS in this form. And more damage resistance and a different ability as well. Another Auspex scan gives in vision for the Manticore. Here we go. Was looking for the Noise Marines and found them. Also got a couple of shots on the Dreadnought too. Here's a Nurgle Shrine on the way. This is an important engagement for Mostafa. Very important. Throws up the Holy Pyre. Bullgryns go for the Dreadnought. Plasma guns raining fire in. Inquisitor needs to run. I think the Shrine, yeah, the Shrine did finish. It's now healing allies and suppressing enemies, and now it's being worshipped. They can reinforce off it. What a clutch shrine, eh? Made a big difference. Bullgryns have got in on the Dreadnought, maybe. They were getting suppressed by the shrine. The shrine is down. A Hell Fury was chucked in there. Global ability of the Inquisitor. Are you guys going to break your retreats with your commissars? Doesn't look like it. Bullgryns giving chase. They get the Dreadnought. Well done, fellas. Only lost a model as well. One model. Oh, 2 models. There we go. And I think that's a big win for Mostafa. All they lost was some guardsmen, right? And a couple of Bullgryns. These guys looking to get the Manticore down, but those Inferno bolts aren't fantastic anti-vehicle. Can they just do that again now? Or spec scan in, try and get a good Manticore hit, and just chuck the Bullgryns in. Catachans continue to harass the east side, and there's an improvised explosive. Heretics can see it though with their aspiring champion. Blastmaster overshoots. There's a shotgun blast. And now they're going to melee. Oh, they didn't go in. Again. They underutilizing the melee of those Catachans a bit, I think, although it may be because they were looking over here. It was the Heretics that initiated that melee. Plague Champion proving to be a bit of a problem. Here comes a Chaos Predator too. Mostafa does have a decent chunk of resources here. Could be looking for a Lehman Russ. They'd need to drop some models first though, I think, for population. Just let some guardsmen die. Hell Fury again. Stops them from capping, I suppose. Down to 27 victory points is Mostafa. Wasn't even looking at that. Plague Champion trying to get that capped with the Fist Pestilent Strike thing. I wonder, is it worth pushing up with the Dreadnought and trying to get that Manticore? Obviously he's worried about the Bullgryns and that there's a las cannon somewhere. Oh, las cannon's there. Bullgryns now have a tank to try and deal with that are going to try and decap here. They should be using Use Your Shield, because it does give them some extra damage resistance. Maybe they are. Wait, why did they get suppressed there? Is it a frenzied barrage? It must have been, I suppose. The tank got incredibly low. Was taking las cannon hits there, but gets away. Bullgryn's got a decap and only dropped a single model. Gonna need some healing though. We're gonna see Mark of Nurgle on the Chaos Predator, making it tougher. Needs some repairs though, I would think. Guardsman trying to come in from an angle to avoid this, but it didn't work out as a nasty shot. Oh, they get rid of him though. Plague Champion chasing them around would be way more threatening if they had the Icon of Nurgle, but being able to heal is a big bonus. 398 to 16 on the VPs. Catachan Devils continue to do this stuff, which is keeping Mostafa in the game basically. Leonus doesn't really have a good unit to just put against them on that side unless they just move the tank over there. It might be worth doing because it would keep them from decapping, I think. Plague Champion fighting the Bullgryns. Inquisitor's in there too. Plague Champion's going to go down. And now the Inquisitor can try and cap. Manticore Strike going off somewhere, I think. I'm not sure where though. Touch of Nurgle Heretics. That's one way to scare the Catachans off, I guess. Grenade Launcher's doing some decent work against the Catachans. I don't think they, do they fire their shotguns on the move? They must. They must. Bullgryns have taken a chunk of damage. Oh, those guys got a cap on that side. That was really well done by Leonus. I didn't even know. Didn't even know. Vehicle's hanging back because of the las cannon. I think the response to that should be to take them onto the flanks, right? Leonus got their natural victory point back and stole this power too at some point. Bunch of guardsmen clumped up there. Manticore Strike gets rid of the Blastmaster Noise Marines. Plague Champion back on the field. 381 to 14. Inquisitor trying to chop down these heretics. Holy Pie is up. Those are almost level 3 heretics. She gets rid of them. Thought about capping there, I think, but decided against it. Fresh Frenzied Barrage suppresses the last cannon fellas. They're getting good shots though. Really good shots. Now the Plague Champion comes for the VP. They may be waiting for the Inquisitor to close for melee before they use Pestilence Strike. There it is. They were waiting so they could stun her with it too. But now she's in melee. And there's that Nurgle tank shooting at guardsmen here. Level 3 guardsmen getting torn apart by those Nurgle shells. Also got like Nurgle bolters on the side that do damage over time. And they wipe out those guardsmen. 380 to 14 on the VPs. Leman Russ hitting the field right now. Is it going to get Vanquisher? It would be a massive threat to the Dreadnought and the tank if it did. That Dreadnought's already super low. That's kind of done so much work, eh? Level 3. Guardsmen there barely surviving, but they do survive. And here's the Leman Russ, and there is Vanquisher. I'm not sure, is the gun just called the Vanquisher cannon or something? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the gun is different in the lore. It seems like an autocannon still, just longer. Big fat autocannon, of course. Mid is uncapped, 372 to 14. We've got some chosen Plague Marines from the Plague Champion. Looks like they're going for that Western VP as well. Tank scares everything off. Bullgryn's capping mid. There's those chosen Plague Marines, unique to the Plague Champion. Very cool fellas. Power melee knives with damage over time. They also passively damage nearby enemies and can create zombies if they kill you. Almost level 4 Inquisitor now has Purgatus. Decent chunk of resources on that. Here comes a bunker. Can upgrade this to be a medical or a repair bunker. Manticore tries to get the chosen Plague Marines to leave. And they do. Which is a bit weird, because it can't do that again. So why not try and finish the cap? Well, it can't do that again quickly, is what I mean. 356 to 14. Could be a big mistake by Leonus on the west side. Maybe they assumed... Maybe he assumed something else was coming after the Manticore strike. Chosen Plague Marines are now kind of hiding on that western edge. Because they have really good health regen. I think they should have just stayed there and tried to cap it. Leman Russ. Pinpoint shot on that Noise Marine there. Double cap for Mostafa. Dreadnought has now been repaired fully. Can threaten the Leman Russ. There's no push over that Mark of Zin's Dreadnought, especially level 3. Bullgryns can pressure it, of course. Heretics may need to get in there with touch of Nurgle here. There's Purgatus. They're going to get the Dreadnought down. Yes, they do. Last Cannon is also getting shots. Leman Russ is being repaired. Bullgryn's soaking up huge amounts of damage. Inquisitor goes to the Eastern VP to fight the Plague Champion, I think. Heretics wiped. Bullgryn's leveled to 3. They've been awesome. Up to 2,900 hit points. There's Touch of Nurgle. I thought they'd use it earlier to get rid of the Bullgryns, but the last cannon was the big problem for the Dreadnought there, eh? Last cannon is wiped. Bullgryn's down to a single model. There's a rocket run just to get the Plague Champion off the VP. Leonus has huge amounts of resources here. Huge amounts. I mean, they still have massive VP lead. Here comes another Leman Russ from Mostafa. They just got... Oh, they got a Great Unclean One. I was going to say get some Plague Runes. But Great Unclean One is on the way. Yeah, the Nurgle tank isn't great at taking on other vehicles since the initial damage of the autocannon is lowered, but you get the Nurgle stink afterwards for anti-infantry stuff. It is getting rear armor hits though. Pretty good. Chosen Plague Runes on the central VP. Last Master runs away. Manticore. Looks like we have a medical bunker here. You can see those green hexagons on those guardsmen. Healing them up allows them to reinforce as well. Purgatus now. Can the tank hit it from there? It can. Leman Russ with the range. Does it tell me what the range is? Down goes that Nurgle tank. It doesn't tell me. Level 3 Leman Russ. Leonus has kind of capitulated a bit here. That las cannon shouldn't have been able to do that much work, I think. It's pretty nuts how many hits it got in on everything. But the Bullgryns were a fantastic screen for it. Especially with Inquisitor support doing the Hammer of the Witches and now doing Purgatus as well. Not sure where the Chaos Space Marines died. Was it on the VP maybe? Here's GG. Leonus is still going to win. Oh, maybe not. The cap was stopped at 1-1. Here's me thinking Mostafa was just going to kind of cruise away with it now. But there is a Great Unclean One on the field, and Leonus has tons of resources still. There's a foul snare after the cloud of flies. Ogryn is still holding the line away, getting reinforced off the bunker. Down to 1 VP is Mostafa. Leonus needs to repurchase the Plague Champion, surely. It's an amazing capping unit, that Plague Champion. Double vanquishes, yes it is. Bullgryns are not even going to try and bother fighting a Great Unclean One. Super unit for chaos, passively damaging nearby enemies. Some nasty melee and some abilities as well. Inquisitor decapping the east side. There's a single. Here come Heretics. Blast Master Noise Marines going for the western VP, but Guardsmen are here hanging out. Manticore. Great Unclean One getting quite low actually, with these Ogryns able to reinforce off the bunker. Yeah, and Vanquish is getting shots. And I guess... yeah, that was Leonus conceding, I think. Had so much resources. I think the double Leman Russes were very intimidating. Great Unclean One couldn't get it done. It was a strange purchase, I think. With even just one Leman Russ, it would have done so much damage to it. Level 4 Bullgryns, look at that, 3,200 hit points. We had a level 6 Plague Champion and a level 5 Inquisitor. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.